For the past 12 years, you probably know I've been a software developer. In many ways, it has been great. It gave me the freedom to travel and be a digital nomad and live where I wanted to. It paid the bills, of course, and allowed me to live the lifestyle that I wanted. But what you probably don't know is that for most of those 12 years, I was not in a great place. I was struggling mentally, emotionally, physically, and in a spiritual and existential sort of way as well. And a lot of that started right after I left San Francisco in the Bay Area and started finally traveling. So, to be honest, mentally, I've always had a very noisy head, a very noisy mind, a very strong inner critic, and it kept me from sleeping at night. It kept me from, making decisions that were actually aligned with what I wanted to do, and stuff like that. And emotionally, a lot of you probably know about my dad's battle with cancer. And for the first 4 months, I was caretaking him, and that period of time was absolutely the most stressed I had ever been. My body onboarded an indescribable amount of stress and tension. And I carried that for years. And it really affected me in a way that you couldn't really see from the outside. Physically, my body started to break down because of the stress and also because of an antibiotic that I took in Mexico right after that happened. And that's a whole nother story for a whole nother video. But I really did. I started to stutter at one point. My body started to just feel off, and I started to injure myself a lot more. And my immune system was not as strong as it had used to be in the past. And all these other things started happening to me. I never had allergies before, and I had developed allergies. So that was another big part of the struggle that I've gone through over the past many years. On top of all of that, I had this kind of spiritual or existential question that I knew I didn't want to be a software developer forever. I knew being a software developer was great in the moment and great for a time, but not what I wanted to do in the long term. And so as I worked through these health issues that I was having, the mental, physical, emotional, all of it, as I worked through all of these issues, I tried everything. I tried doctors, of course, therapists, meditations, diet changes, lifestyle changes, so many things. You name it, I've probably tried it. And some of those helped in some ways, and I learned a lot, and I made a little bit of progress here and there. But there was this other layer and this other aspect that these other modalities and people weren't able to really help me with, because honestly, it was hard to describe. It's hard to talk about like a toxic sludge emotional feeling that you're carrying and that, someone just wants to give you a pill for. And that was not an acceptable answer or acceptable solution in my worldview. I spent a long time solving those problems with others, but also by myself. And eventually, I stumbled across something that actually did make a difference. Really, what I did was I started to debug myself with my software engineering brain and the logic that I learned and how to think in Silicon Valley as a software developer. I applied that to me and to my brain and my psyche and what I was experiencing and what I was going through. Eventually, in 2019, I found a way to actually release this toxic emotional charge that I was carrying internally that nothing else really solved for. And so I kept doing this work and I kept doing this process, and it helped me in that emotional way. I started to let go of and release and discharge a lot of that toxic feeling that I had. It also helped me in the mental capacity where the inner critic and the noise started to dissipate, and I was able to work on things in certain ways where that was very targeted and actually starting to dissolve a lot of that as well. And then physically, it actually helped me out because it helped calm my nervous system in ways that nothing else was before, and eventually even started affecting in positive ways the physical issues and symptoms that I was experiencing. And so now, after many years of putting that together, I actually started teaching that modality to others a couple years after that, around 2022, right after I left Puerto Rico. And the friends that I taught it to were also getting great results, and it's different from what they had tried in the past. And a lot of people have tried meditation and therapy and other things to kind of work through their mind and their psyches in a way that feels like progress is actually being made, that you can feel it. And this was giving them that, sometimes for the first time. So I became very curious and intrigued and very passionate. And the more I studied and researched and tried to find what this was, the more I realized there was not a lot of information out there that made sense to my logical, software engineer, science based brain. So I put in a lot more time and years just searching and looking. And eventually I found a guy who's now my mentor. His name is Dr. John Amaral. And he has a modality where he used to be a chiropractor. And he has a modality where he works on somebody on his massage table, right? And it does the same work that I was doing for myself and that I was teaching others, but it's something that he can do for somebody else. And it's very transformational, it's very powerful, it's very effective, and it's very structured, and it's very pragmatic. And once I saw that, I was like, well, this is what I'm going to do. And so that solved the spiritual and the existential problem, because I was already very passionate about this type of work. And so after 12 years of being a software developer, I finally decided I'm taking the leap. And now that I've moved back to SoCal, I've got an office space, actually two, that I'll be using now that I've studied under Dr. John, and I'm going to offer this now as my new business. So what is it? What exactly is going on here? It's called somatic energy work. And what that basically means is it helps unwind what we carry in the body, mentally, physically, emotionally, the stress, the tension that we've held on to for so long that other things have not been able to release or let go of. If you're looking around my website or on this page, you will see that it's called table work. That's just because it's work done on a table. My mentor calls it somatic energy work, and the type of work I was doing previously, I also labeled as somatic energy. So I knew this was in the same line. And so exactly what's going on here is the emotional stress, the emotional weight that we carry over years, it gets held in the body. And there's a lot of research around this. It's nothing new, but the body physically holds on to stress in the soft tissues and even in the nervous system and in other places, that it affects everything. It affects the way we behave. It affects the way we think. It affects our decision making. It affects our relationships. It affects our experience of literally every day, every minute life. There's a way to interact with that stress to start having it actually leave the body. And a lot of people, myself included, try to use talk therapy, for example. And what I've come to discover is that talking is not the best tool to do this type of transformational work where energy and the stress is literally leaving and dissolving and getting removed from the body because it's literally held into it. Same with meditation, for example. I find myself included and other people can get very frustrated with something like meditation because it's too challenging, because the mind is too loud. And so this work gets underneath and beyond and below that level where actual work is actually physically being done. And it's not Reiki, and it's not acupuncture, and it's not some, hope and pray type of approach to this energy, which people categorize in the woo-woo world. It's very pragmatic, structured, methodical, and repeatable. And there's mastery, and there's very specific steps and things that I do as part of this process. So it's very different from anything that's out there. My mentor has been doing this over 3 decades, and he has all the A-list clients. They fly to him to get this work done. He charges thousands of dollars for a session. And even Tony Robbins used to be his private client for, I believe, a couple decades. So this is very different and very impactful. And some of the people who are performing at their highest, at their peak in society, receive this type of work because of how transformational it really is. So what's in it for you is really, this is transformational work. It's life-changing when the stress that we've been carrying for years, that's been all bound up, finally starts to release. And it really is an honor to be able to serve people in this way. So you'll get to experience something new, you'll get to try something and see what's possible in the world of wellness, and also of course receive the actual work itself and come out better than you went in, hopefully. For most people, they most people feel a difference after the first session. Every body is different, so it depends. I recommend for a lot of people, like after 4 sessions, you're going to feel something. If you didn't before, you will start to be aware. A lot of people in their first session, they notice something. So it's very effective. So I'm really excited about this new chapter in my life. I hope you are too. Thank you so much in advance for your support as I go through this. And honestly, I've been planning this for a long time. And for the first time in many years, I feel like what I'm doing on the outside and what I'm doing with my life is how I feel and matches what I believe on the inside. And honestly, that's also a big part of what this work does is it helps bring down a lot of those masks that we put up and that we wear that keep us from being who we really are and who we really are meant to be. So thanks again for watching. I really appreciate your time. Down below somewhere, there's going to be all the info, and I hopefully made it super easy for you if you want to book a time with me. I've got an office in Costa Mesa, and I've got an office in Irvine, very close to each other. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And honestly, happy to serve you in this way and happy to share what I've learned and share this skill with you to be able to help all of us move forward to be the best version of ourselves that we can, because I think that's what it's all about. So thanks again. Lots of love. Take care. And hopefully, I'll see you soon.